reporter to an unprecedented public speak out on abortion hosted by Red Stockings, a women's liberation group. For Steinem, witnessing the speaker's public testimony of their covert acts was a transforming moment. She left galvanized and newly focused on feminist causes. She became spokesperson, activist, relentless pursuer of fairness. In 1971, Steinem helped form the National Women's Political Caucus. The following year, she and other journalist activists took the courageous step of founding the first National Feminist Monthly magazine. Ms. sold out its 300,000 test copies in hardly a week. It received 20,000 reader letters in its first few months, letters so engaging and from so diverse an audience that they are now housed here at the Schlesinger Library as a record of the feminist movement and its effects on women from all walks of life. Ms. was and is, though, more than a magazine. Very soon after the publication's launch, Steinem and her colleagues created the Ms. Foundation for Women, a social justice organization. Among its myriad initiatives are Take Our Daughters to Work Day and the Katrina Women's Response Fund. For over 4 decades, Gloria Steinem's eloquence, her ability to disagree without demonizing, and her humor have made hers an important voice in the struggle for equality. Steinem's activism was global, long before global was trendy. More than 30 years ago, she brought the practice of female genital mutilation to Americans' attention. And throughout her career, she has called for a feminism not limited by national boundaries. Steinem's activism has, though, also been very personal. She has promoted the work of younger feminists and offered many crucial support. Her home and heart are famous for welcoming in younger women as friends, as sisters, and as daughters. Throughout Steinem's years as a feminist leader, she has reminded us of what matters. In her own words, there is no such thing as being individually free in the face of collective bias. There can be no big social change without words and phrases that first create a dream of change in our heads. If we want joy and music and friendship and laughter at the end of our revolution, we must have joy and music and friendship and laughter along the way. Whatever you want to do, do it now. There's no second like this one. Please join me in honoring our 2010 Radcliffe Institute Medalist Gloria Steinem. Can you come over on this side? I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to read what it says now. And then I'm going to put the medal around it. Gloria Steinem, you have chosen to make a difference fighting bias wherever you see it. You have uttered words that framed the dream in many minds, brought laughter to the revolution, and seized the moment. Your legacy is a better world. You will always be with women and men anywhere they wrestle with injustice and inequality. Through your tireless pursuit of social justice, through your willingness to give of yourself, you have changed lives. We thank you, and it is our privilege to award you the Radcliffe Medal. I'm guessing you don't want this. Is that right? I'll leave this here. Get this out of your way.
This is so much a day that I will never forget. And that was such an introduction to live up to. I'm definitely living to 100, but now I have to in order to live. It's really hard to know what to say on this kind of occasion. And well, one thing is clear, that in the future, when I'm confused with Gertrude Stein, which I already am, actually, you know, if ever you think you're getting uppity, you know, I get letters addressed to Gertrude Stein. So I can be confident maybe that somebody in the future will look at this medal and say, well, we don't know who she was, but if she got this medal, she must have been okay. And I want to thank especially, I hope a lot of you were at the wonderful panel that we just had. Really, really great panel, and I thank so much all the participants and each of you here for giving of your time. Time is the greatest gift. Time is all there is. And coming here today means a very great deal. I have to say that being under this symbolic tent as a Smith graduate has a special meaning to me. And maybe this is a now it can be told kind of story. See what you think. But I once imagined that Radcliffe and Smith could merge. After all, we share our historic mission, right? And it was a decade ago, and I had joined the board of Smith because A, the great Ruth Simmons was Smith's president, and B, I'd finally stopped being retroactively mad at Smith for the very non-feminist 1950s of my student days, which really wasn't their fault, you know. The 1950s were nobody's fault. I think it must have been 1990 or 1991, and the merger talks between Harvard and Radcliffe were on, and there were lots and lots of rumors. And it sounded to me, I'm quite willing to be wrong, but it sounded to me as if Radcliffe was sort of in the position of an abused woman trying to negotiate with her abusive husband. So Ruth Simmons and I decided that what Radcliffe needed was a girlfriend. And it actually happened that the always brave Ruth was willing to call one insider and see if we could raise the future possibility of a merger between Smith and Radcliffe. At a minimum, we thought we would give Radcliffe bargaining power. However, even if such a far-out possibility had been possible at all, it was way too late. So I'm touched to be at this merger today of me and Radcliffe under one big tent. And I'm very moved that we're here in a combination of people that has never happened before in exactly the same way, and will never happen again in exactly the same way. So, and with all five senses. I mean, I know that technology is great, but we have all five senses for a reason.